Today, I will explain you how to play Xayah at her best potential. Xayah's passive is pretty simple. After you use any type of spell, so in this case I'm gonna use the Q, you're gonna store up to 3 feathers per spell that you can easily use by autoing the enemies. Those feathers will go on the back of the target that you're hitting, and you will also deal damage on the enemies that are back on him. Exactly 35% of the damage. So as you can see, I'm gonna auto this target, and the guy behind him will get a percentage of the damage, which is 35%. Xayah Q is quite easy. You're gonna place 2 feathers on the ground. The first enemy that gets it is gonna get damaged more compared to the second ones, and that's pretty much it. Xayah W is also pretty easy to understand. As you press W, you're gonna store 3 feathers and gather movement speed and attack speed when hitting the enemies. The most important part of Xayah is the blade collar, which is basically that every feather that's on the ground can be used to actually recall it towards the champion. So in this case I'm here, and all the feathers that are in the ground will recall to myself. A tiny trick for you to understand which kind of directions the feathers want to take: when you throw them down, you will see this tiny arrow moving, and you can kind of understand where they are gonna land. As you can see in this case, we made them land towards where the enemy were. Xayah is a really easy champion, but there's at least one combo that you absolutely have to learn if you wanna play this champion, and it's the fast QE. So usually an average silver elo Xayah player will do a Q, an auto, and then it will recall to stack the feathers as free. Something that we didn't talk about is that if there are 3 or more feathers hitting the enemies, they will be rooted. This is quite slow if you think about it. Let's just like realistically look, we're gonna place 2 feathers out to the enemies, and by the time that the 3rd feather comes in, they probably already moved from this position. So it's quite hard to land it consistently. And that's why we need to improve how fast we are at landing this combo. So that's how you do it. And as you can see, this was so much faster compared to this. Xayah ultimate is one of the best abilities in the game. You basically are gonna go immune, flying high, and then dealing damage to the enemies in front of you, leaving 5 feathers on the ground. The most important thing that you wanna know about this ultimate is that the enemies that are the nearest to you will get more damage, because those feathers, they aren't placed all near together, but they have a bit of distance to each other. So I placed it 3 times in front of me to show you that the nearest one to you is gonna get more damage, while the ones on the back a bit less, because he's not gonna get all the feathers. As you can see, the one being the nearest took more damage. So how do you use this to your advantage? There's a tiny mechanic which is called ult flash, where you can basically flash back to an enemy while you have all these feathers down, to make sure that he will land on all the feathers. Just keep in mind that in the end all the feathers have to come back to you, so it doesn't matter if they are spread in this way. As long as you flash to him, all the feathers are gonna come exactly on top of him. Another tiny trick that I wanna show you to land some really easy feathers that people never expect is to use this wall here, to actually use your Q here, and then those feathers will actually go to the heavy right, so that you can move in this way and simply land a really easy. Those people never expect that, especially when you're queuing basically the wall and they don't really understand where those feathers went. Did you know everything about Xayah? Did you enjoy this video? Make sure to leave a like or comment if I missed anything, and thank you so much for watching. See you!